Alrighty, game 2. What do we have here? This is a little bit better. Villages are piazza, which is a little bit unreliable, and then lackeys, which is temporary. You're only getting the village effect when you're buying it, not when you're playing it. You're probably not building very big, I don't think. Oh, I mean, you could potentially try to like go for vineyards, maybe take a ton of schemes and pawns and such to power up vineyards. I think probably this is just provinces, though. A few spices, a few hunting grounds, something along those lines strikes me as being better. Scrap silos is seeming like a really good opening to me. Scrap clears out the estates, and then silos makes the copper as a much less big deal, as well as helping you find the scrap faster. I think we'll start with that. Probably take spices soon-ish for the plus buy, so that we can take multiple lackeys. And then I think probably relatively soon to provinces, because obviously the villager effect of lackeys is going to be limited. Maybe you just play with like one hunting grounds and a scheme, and the goal is to just scheme the one hunting grounds every shuffle, or as many shuffles as you can. I'm thinking piazza is unclear whether it's going to be worth it. I mean, spices is not a bad buy on 5. If I'm not building particularly big, that's usually going to be a very good buy. Piazza is going to hit somewhat, but I'm not sure how clean my deck's going to get. I'll have to think about that on each turn as it arises. But it's not clear to me whether we're getting piazza ever. Probably depends on how action dense my deck is at various points. Okay, so if I just do card horse here, I'm guaranteed to draw a copper. And actually, so card horse draws me a copper, but I think I'd actually rather keep the copper on top of my deck than not, because of silos. That means I can just discard it straight to the bottom. So I think I'd rather just do coin horse and buy the lackeys. Seems better. And so now the copper remains on top. I discard it with silos, I draw anyway, and the copper is going straight to my discard. Is trader any good here? I mean, you could like trade a hunting grounds and get a ton of silvers, but that would require buying. I want to have an actual hunting grounds on my deck that I don't trash. I have to like buy multiple hunting grounds for that. Okay, this bottom card's a copper. I got a bunch of coppers down there. I am facing a choice whether to spin this villager. If I don't, then I could hit like 3, I could hit 2. I think I'm just fine not playing the lackeys and banking up the villager, because I can just buy another lackeys like this. I don't really have any desperate need to hit a bigger number than 2 at the moment. How's his turns going? I believe he opened the same way I did. Yeah, no surprise there. He took a silver and a horse. Yeah, so he had 2 in hand. I had to take the coin and the horse because I had all 3 of my states in hand when I was hitting 1 otherwise. But I'd say otherwise we're pretty similar here, I think. He's taking a scheme. Am I drawing here? I don't know. I mean, drawing could get me to spices, but I don't know if that's important or not. I think I'm just going to take the scheme. I wanted to have a scheme at some point. This turn, I think maybe is spices, the next turn hunting grounds, something like that. And then ideally we scheme the hunting grounds every turn. My guess is not too many coppers ever get trashed. I imagine this scrap is going to be killing lackeys a lot. I could pick up a second scrap for killing coppers, but I don't know how worth it that is. Scrap killing coppers is not a very effective use of it. Ooh, he's hitting 8 already. Big numbers. Alrighty, let's see. Scheme, play lackeys, scrap. I think I'm just killing the lackeys here. I'm pretty sure that last card is a copper. Yes, it is. I can leave that on top. So I could just do like coin buy here for spices lackeys. I could do silver horse. That sounds pretty good too. Buy hunting grounds first. I like that better. Take hunting grounds now. And we will scheme. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I top deck any of these? Obviously every card I top deck is one less copper I'll be able to top deck. So I should only top deck an action if I'm pretty sure I want it on top. I think I might actually just not top deck any of this. Not sure about that. Ooh, yeah, so he's lined up his scheme and his hunting grounds this turn. That is the goal. I'm hoping to do that this turn, although with this starting hand, it's unclear whether I'll be able to. Alright, interesting. He's trashing a copper. I'm not sure what else was in his hand. That might have been the best play. In fact, it might be a hand like this. I'm strongly considering just trashing copper right now. I think I'll do that. And then spices, piazza. I don't have that many actions on my deck, so I think it's just piazza. I mean, it's not piazza, it's just spices. Well, he's out of villagers for the moment. He'll probably re-up on lackeys, I would expect here. And then I think I am guaranteed here to find both my scheme and my hunting grounds. I'm 2 turns later, but I don't think I'm horribly behind. I do have a lot more villagers, that's something. That looks like a good turn, though. All right, he's getting piazza. Fair enough. Well, there's my scrap. Am I just provincing already? I didn't really want a province, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I'm thinking about province spices. Could just be hunting ground spices. I don't know. If I had 3 buys, I think it'd be really unlikely for me to buy province. It might still be correct not to anyway. I think I'm going to. I don't think this is going to be a game where you build super big. Now, given that I'm greening on the rather early side, that's the sort of thing that could provoke Akuchi maybe to try to go for the Vineyards thing. Like if you think that my deck can't really province consistently enough to do all 8, then you just try to keep building out score via Vineyards. In the abstract, I think provinces just look simpler here. And so my guess is it's still reasonably likely that he'll go for provinces as well, but I'm not sure. The Vineyards play is not bad. Okay, yeah, so he's probably going for Vineyard. So that means I'm on a clock for emptying 8 provinces. I don't know if that's going to work out or not. Do I play this scrap? I don't know. I could like trash copper by lackey spices. I could take an island and get rid of this province. That's probably not worth it. I could also just buy province. I think we're gonna do lackey spices. So for vineyards to be worth as much as provinces, you need 18 action cards. If you get more or less uncontested access to schemes and pawns, that's not too hard to do. Question is just whether you can do it faster. My hope is that the spices plus the inconsistent copper trashing makes provinces easier than vineyards here. Also an important thing for my deck is I only have the one scheme, so it's kind of important for me to find that each turn to get the hunting grounds back on top. But it is not guaranteed. There we go. Had to spend a villager to do it though. Alright, so I think one of these is going to be a province. And I could do 2 lackeys. I could spend a coffer and do lackey spices. That sounds good too. I could take a scrap even. I could do like province lackeys scrap and start getting rid of these lackeys. Don't mind that either. I think I'll go that way. I'm not sure if it makes sense for me to take a second scheme. I really value top decking the hunting grounds, and the risk that I don't find my scheme is a substantial one. But of course, buying scheme means like not buying lackeys and such, and that would be the problem. Is it's a high opportunity cost, more so than if I was just passing up on a silver. So he's at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably about 10 actions already. I think he's going to get to the point where his provinces or his vineyards are worth as much as provinces before the game ends. And the question will be whether or not he can empty 8 vineyards before I can do provinces. And I think I'm going to guess that the odds are in his favor. I don't think they're decisive, but I think I'm more likely to lose than win at the moment. I did feel kind of forced down this path by my early shuffles when I bottom decked that scrap. If I went the same route he did, I think I would just be doing the same thing but behind, because I didn't really have the plus buy to build as effectively. And so I've just gotta hope that big money wins out here, or this is money-ish at the very least. Uh-oh, no hunting grounds next turn. So I'm taking a province here, and what else? He's now to the last of the lackeys, so not that. Not sure what else. I don't think it makes sense for me to take a potion. I don't have nearly enough actions. Okay, maybe just province spices. I wouldn't actually be net getting any coffers off of province spices. I'd basically be, buying spices is like the same as buying silver, but at least it has a plus buy on it. Yeah, I think I'm just doing province spices. What are these bottom two cards? I think one's a scrap. Should probably figure out what the other one is. I think it's not a treasure. Sorry, I think it's not an action card. So like if I discard this copper and draw scrap, I think I can scrap lackeys for like card horse or something. Without worrying about drawing an action dead. Island is nice for his deck. Beyond getting rid of the Vineyards, it also is an action card, and so it powers up the Vineyards. Oh wait, no, it is an action card. It's my scheme, isn't it? Maybe I just leave that on top, actually. Yeah, I haven't seen my scheme yet. It's the scheme. So maybe I just do like coin horse and take spices. You know what? That turn where I bought Province Spices, maybe that could have been Province Scheme. That might have been a good time to add that second scheme I was contemplating. Once lackeys were gone, my main reason for not taking second scheme has passed. I think I'm in trouble here. My hope is maybe his deck is a little bit more reliant on spending villagers every turn, and he runs out. He doesn't really require that many terminals, though. But like playing the island will be terminal, the hunting grounds is terminal, the lackeys is terminal if he keeps playing that. Hopefully it craps out soon. Another scheme. Okay, this is province and something. Maybe this is province scheme. Top deck hunting grounds. I assume he needs a second potion pretty soon. Or maybe even a third. 2 might be enough. But he's got to start getting the vineyards. Like, I think he only reliably gets like 3 more turns. He might get 4 more turns. But I've got like a full province sitting in coffers. And my deck is reasonably likely to hit 8 most turns. So I don't think he can plan on waiting too long. The good news is, he's also scoring off of islands. That's not significant, but it is something. Some bonus points. The main thing that I'm really hoping is this villager situation is going to really tie up his deck. He's only got 1 left. And then hopefully his deck stops doing its thing, where the only thing he can do is play hunting grounds, and then his turn ends. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think it's going to hurt a bit. In fact, at that point, I'm not even sure playing hunting grounds is your best terminal. Maybe it probably still is. What else are you playing? You can play scrap non-terminally. That surprised me, but I would have expected something like Vineyard Potion Pawn. He's going for the islands for more immediate points. That might be enough. Do card action. And I think it makes sense to scrap us spices rather than not play scrap. This turn it's 1 less money. That's not even necessarily true. I get 1 money off the spices directly, plus I get to draw an extra card. So this is probably worth doing. I'm turning the spices into a silver, which it more or less was at that point in the game. All right. 9, this is probably just 1 province, I would think. I have no need to spin my coffers yet. At least I don't see any reason to spin the coffers yet. Not finding the schemes, I guess, was a little bit of a bummer. I'm not seeing hunting grounds at all this shuffle. I don't know that it was unlikely to happen, but I would have liked it if it did happen. I wonder what the implications of this match are for Akuchi. Let me take a look. Okay, so this has potential non-demotion implications, I think. Actually, probably for both of us. I think I'm unlikely to demote, but still not technically out of the range. I can't demote over Tracer, but I think Akuchi and Recycle Garbage could still, if they both pass me, then I think I could potentially demote. If I do badly and they both do well. Well, if I do badly, Akuchi necessarily does well. All right, what are we doing here? Just 1 province? 2 province time? Now might be a good time to double. I don't see anything good that I'm buying for 2 money. So just spend 6 coffers and buy double province. I think I've still got a reasonable chance here if I manage to hit 8, which, I mean, functionally hit 6 because I got 2 coffers. That's not unlikely. But it's also not guaranteed. My deck is now getting a little shakier. Oh, you know what? I forgot about Piazza. He's going to be getting 2 actions per turn. I was overstating how significant running out of villages was going to be. He used to get at least 2 terminal action plays, which is a big difference compared to 1, because it means he can play his hunting grounds, and then if he draws all these little cantrips, he can keep playing them. Whereas I was thinking that he was going to have to play his hunting grounds and then just draw a bunch of like schemes and pawns dead. I forgot he'd bought Piazza. 2 is probably enough. Like, as long as he hits an action card, which he is most turns because his deck's full of actions. That's, oh, not that turn, but most turns. He gets to play his hunting grounds, which is at least a pretty good bit of draw. Ooh. We going for the win this turn? Maybe he has it. I'm a little surprised by that. I mean, hunting grounds is a lot of draw, and he's got a spices in there that maybe he could have scrapped instead. But I don't know what the composition of his hand is or what his plan is. I think he just needs to find 8 money plus a potion to win. I think province plus 1 vineyard will do it. I don't know if that's likely or not. All right, here we go. Please, pretty please, hit 8. This is 8, right? Looks like 8 to me. Okay, I was thinking he was more likely to win that one. Just seeing how things were going. But I pulled through in the end. I don't know. I said at the beginning that I thought provinces looked better than vineyards. I'm not sure if I maintain that. I mean, it did win here, But I wasn't, like, just based on the way the game felt, it wasn't clear to me that Provinces was just in general a better strategy than the Vineyards.